Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of Everything Football Podcast. And today we're going to be speaking about a few things. But first of all, let's start off with the big Champions League this week. Especially the draw took place as we're recording this today. So obviously, let's review. Sorry, review. Fucking hell, can't speak. The fixtures that happened this week. So I think Tuesday, obviously, Jeremy, terrible from United. Absolutely terrible. Do you want to talk us through it, mate?
I mean, we should have beaten really, but we struggle against teams like that who play defensive football. We struggle to give Ronaldo any service against them. I know it's just terrible from us, really, especially with Maguire at the back. He's just a waste of space.
Maguire at the moment is I don't know how he's getting picked. I'll be honest. He is in terrible form, and he's not doing himself any justice on the pitch. Like you could be like maybe see a little bit of progress coming back into him, but you just don't. He's like I said, I saw in the second half there was a one point where Maguire could have just easily played it back. Oh, sorry, played it in front to Varane, and you could have like maybe started an attack or built your play up or something. But instead of that, I think it was João Felix was pressuring him, and he just like goes back, sort of like goes to De
Yeah,
Gea, then turns back. Then he realizes he's getting pressured, then turns back again, and then finally releases it. And then De Gea like has a dodgy clearance, sort of scuffs it a little bit, and it goes to I think DePaul who had a shot, and it didn't come to nothing. But De Gea went mental at Maguire then, and it's
yeah.
just like,
He's useless under pressure. He can't handle it.
oh yeah, he's. I say this, I think he does
But he
walk like a
panics on the
rock.
ball.
Yeah, he's just like he's very clunky with the ball. Like he doesn't seem to like obviously like I'm not saying defenders are gonna have natural ability to sort of like dribble, but he just like the way with the ball, he when he carries it, it's just he looks so like not with it, sort of he's so out of place with the ball at his feet at the moment. And
Yeah,
obviously he just I think
it's
it
like
was
he's not played football before, but in his life.
yeah, yeah. And like I think it was his fault for the goal as well that you conceded. I mean,
Well, majority of our goals conceded probably from him.
but like there's the photo you can see, and it's like Maguire's like so you have I think you have like Tellez on the left, like sort of going towards or trying to get towards like whoever's crossing, I think Lorente. Then you've got like Varane probably marking someone, then uh Dalot's just sort of marking someone, but there's Lodi behind him. And he's got something. You just see Maguire on the edge of the box just tracking back. I don't know where he was going or what he'd done, but I can't remember. But it just obviously Dalot can't mark two players, and he ended up being at the back post and a free header, and there was nothing. Well, De Gea just wasn't going to get it. I don't think the bounce of the ball beat him, but
Yeah.
terrible from you. I mean, as I say, the football. First off, though, Fred found his passport. Yeah,
Well, Fred
that
actually
piece
had a brilliant first half.
when he did that piece of skill, I was actually like, what the fuck? How was he pulled that off? And he was actually doing like some good touches, especially
He's
as
been he's been one of our best players in the last few games, Fred.
yeah, actually somehow find his passport. But then again, he in the second half he just went a bit quiet. In the first half, I thought he'd done well. But in the second half, he just went to
Second
like
half, all of us,
averaging it.
all
Yeah.
the players really didn't perform well.
Oh yeah. No, and it was. I think it was like there was some things not right at your club at Manchester United, and it's I think you do need a new coach. I don't think
From top to bottom.
yeah. I mean, people saying chanting "We want Glazers out." Heard that. Um, Rangnick just like he's a bit too for me. Like as a manager, like I'd say someone like you want someone who's passionate, like a Conte or something, or even a Tuchel. I like obviously I like Tuchel because well, no, because he wins games, but he's very
That's why we're
passionate.
after him, Lincoln.
Yeah, those leagues. Uh, speaking of managers and Man United apparently want Tuchel, which is also the news I guess going around past couple of days or so. Ever since Jamie Carragher came out and said United should spring on um, sort of the situation at Chelsea and take advantage, he was saying about how you should get Tuchel. And ever since that happened, everyone's like, oh, Tuchel. Apparently, United are tried to talk to Tuchel now, trying to get him. But Tuchel said today in a press conference, he was like, oh, no, there's no way I'm going. Does it look like I feel like sort of, do I feel uneasy here or whatever? But he was like, no, Chelsea is the perfect fit for me. He said that multiple times. So good
Yeah,
on Tommy T there. I'm going to
very loyal.
Yep, I'm going to
It's a
United
shame. It's a shame.
because I'm not good. I'm surprised. I don't think he wants to go to that mess because that has got a couple of. You need 2 or 3 windows to at least
Oh
do
yeah.
anything half decent. Get
Get
anyone.
rid of most of the players already at their club,
Yeah, and
including
rank.
Maguire. Just get rid of him. Who cares if we lose money on him? Because we ain't gonna get 80 million back from him.
Yeah, 80 million. I can't believe he's still the most expensive defender in the world. Like
Ridiculous.
mental. I mean, money talks, as they say. But it was not good. And obviously, Simeone, as I said, Atletico didn't do that much. Like they were pretty average.
Yeah.
He was just terrible. So, you know, I think, like I said, what's got to change is Rangnick needs to go because, like, he's not very passionate. He just sort of sits there and he's obviously going to be probably like I reckon, a decent like sporting director or whatever he's going to do for you, maybe. But as a manager, he just doesn't seem to have the, for me anyway, he just doesn't seem to have that sort of like
He
anger.
hasn't managed big teams. He came from like Russia, didn't he?
Yeah. And
So he
obviously,
hasn't really
Leipzig, I think.
managed a club as big as United.
Yeah.
So
But he's just like, he doesn't seem to have the anger in him to like, even if you are into him, just try and get the best out of the players or sort of in a way that you need people to start going, look, he's top 4. You need to start performing like Maguire and maybe McTominay, Fred. I mean, Fred, as I said, has performed the last couple of games. I mean, first half was much better. Second half, he was nowhere to be seen really. Um, but people start stepping up and big performances needed towards this last like sort of business end to the season.
yeah, we need to be more consistent. Just get a big
Yeah,
win against Spurs, and then we just get knocked out of the Champions League
yeah,
a couple of days after.
yeah. But moving on to obviously Chelsea, or the second, I guess, game. Obviously we went through. We had a bit of a dodgy. We didn't start off well. Um, we needed to. So we were sort of trying to manage the game, I think, because we knew we'd be under the cosh at some point. Fans there, and 2-0 lead if they get a goal at half deficit. So, and they did do that by a penalty. Jorginho. I mean, I knew it was going to get given. That wasn't a natural position for his
Yeah,
arm to be in.
can't really complain about it.
Yeah. Yilmaz, good penalty to be fair. Great penalty. Half the deficit. And then luckily, keeping the possession, being patient, Jorginho puts the ball through for Pulisic and he slots it
Yeah,
in.
good pass.
Um,
I didn't think he was actually going to get that in. To be
no,
honest, I
no.
thought the keeper was like, I think keeper could have done a bit better there.
Yeah, the keeper didn't dive, and I thought Pulisic was going to pull it back, like sort of try and put a cross in because the angle he was at, the way he put the ball in, I thought he was going to like pull it for a cross or something, and no one was just going to be there. But luckily, it sort
Yeah,
of went in. And then second half we played a bit better. We was starting to get a little bit on top of them, and towards the end of the second half, we got the goal from Aspie off his knee.
that was after they missed a golden chance when they hit
Oh
the post.
yeah. Oh, I was like,
That could have ended differently. Yeah,
yeah, I was like, again, we would have been under the cosh. I was like thinking, when that went in, I thought it was in. I think most people did, but luckily it hits the post for us. And like I said, we got up the other end like 10, 15 minutes later or wherever it was and um, get the goal. Mount nice cross into Aspie off the knee. And we're in the quarterfinals. Speaking of the other draws as well, Villarreal,
oh
bit of a
yeah.
dark horse with good Mr. Good Evening. Um, it was a good evening for him. 1-0, got the penalty. and then they get second from Pau Torres, I think it was from the header,
Yeah,
from the corner, sorry.
they
And
got
then
another penalty in towards the end, didn't
yeah,
they?
yeah, there was, I think Juve sort of knew they were out, and Delic sort of threw himself at the ball, and it hit his arm. He kind of knew what he was doing though, and they just slotted another penalty. That's 3-0, and Villarreal. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but I think from what I heard, they were under the caution a little bit, maybe, which I expect. Obviously, Juve at home, they'll want to kill the game, but I think Villarreal done well winning the last 20 minutes, just sort of stuck through it, got through it, and got the goals, and end up winning 3-0. Comfortable.
I watched highlights. Juventus had chances to kill the game. Like they hit the crossbar with their new striker.
Oh yeah, yeah, but yeah, I did watch some of the highlights. Yeah, Vlahovic. Yeah, they did have a couple of chances, I think, didn't
Yeah,
they? So yeah, that was uh that's
they just
poor
need to
from
be more
Juve.
clinical, really.
Yeah, it's quite poor. I think Juve have done quite poor anyway. They had a poor start to the season. I don't think it's been great. Allegri, coming back and stuff, it's not worked out too great. I don't think. I don't know
They
where
were
they are.
favourites to win anyway. Like,
Yeah, but this is like quite bad for them, obviously, for their club in terms of like they normally are up there or at least challenging, not going out to you
they're
know
expected to make it into latter stages
yeah,
to the
the
tournament.
quarter semis at
Yeah,
least quarters. But yeah, they went out, and then who was Tuesday night? I could be Benfica. Benfica got a surprising win
oh
there.
yeah, that is another surprise about. Yeah,
Nunes, I think it was, who got the header. I think Ajax were quite all over them as well, but they managed to
yeah,
get
yeah.
like get all
Benfica
of
got
them.
a bit lucky there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, couple of shocks there, but if you fair play, if you go through and manage the game well, then fair play to you. I mean, can't really do
Yeah,
much wrong. Didn't really do much wrong. Um, but obviously that's all the teams that are through now. And today was the draw. So the draw is obviously my team. We got pulled out the first team, and we've got Madrid. Um, I don't know.
rematch from last season.
Yeah, I'm kind of, as Tuchel said, he wants us, everyone to fear us. But at the moment, I know we've played well and stuff, but I think, I don't know, Madrid, they'll want revenge, and it's not like we played them
They
like,
would be up for it.
yeah, and yeah, if we have no fans, apparently in the quarters and semis at home and away, I think so. Playing with no fans is going to be a very big disadvantage, especially in the second leg. Because if we go, let's say, win 2-0 in the first game, obviously they're going to go there. We're going to go there. Sorry, Bernabeu. It's going to be probably rocking like PSG, and you know what happened to PSG. Although I don't think we will bottle it as, if we are winning, I don't think we'll bottle it as bad as that.
You
Um,
defend. You're much more
yeah,
solid in defence than PSG.
yeah,
PSG defensively terrible.
yeah. So I'm not too worried, but at the same time, It's a bit of an iffy game. I'll say we have a big chance to win, definitely, but um,
It's
it's going to be
quite
tough.
hard to call, really.
Yeah, it's still got like Modric.
Madrid are like, I think Madrid are better this season than they were last season.
Yeah, yeah, and I think Ancelotti hasn't lost a game at the Bernabeu. Might have lost one or something in like since he's taken over there. So
Yeah,
they got quite a good record at the Bernabeu. So it's going to be tough. Hopefully, maybe if we get 2-0 win at Stamford Bridge somehow or something like that, and just get a nil draw at the Bernabeu, go through. Who knows? But yeah, the next draw obviously was Manchester City, Atletico Madrid. Two very, very different styles of play. As I said, Pep
yeah,
will
they,
push all
yeah.
the way
They're
up.
like possession-based football, weren't they? Pep
Yep.
and see, and left Madrid, they just defend and just counter attack you.
Yeah, Simeone was crazy on defending, wants his team to be solid, compact. Um, wants them, like I say, defending is his way mainly, and probably trying to counter attack, as they are known as the Spanish Burnley, for just putting about 9 men behind the ball, really. And obviously, City, they're going to be probably in their half most of the time and possession with all the quality they have. Silva, Foden, probably Sterling, De Bruyne, Rodri, and then at the back, really, it's about Diaz, Cancelo, Walker, maybe. Is Walker? No, Walker's still um suspended, isn't he? Because of that red card, he got a 3-game ban, not one
I did
game.
it.
So,
Yeah.
so maybe not Walker, but um, Cancelo probably like maybe Zinchenko, Laporte, Diaz, whoever.
Yeah, we've got
Um,
quality players. So
yeah, I think it's a tough one to call because normally you expect to say Pep roll over, would roll them over with as so obviously as I say they Pep and City are just brilliant. But then again, Simeone's defensively resolute, but I don't know. I've seen Simeone in games where he's just sort of rolled over at times as well, a couple of times, especially against the English teams. Sort of rolled over in those. So I'm still going to go City because City is still one of the
yeah,
best
I,
sides in
I,
Europe.
I think it could be City's year,
Yeah.
Champions League. I can just picture Pep with the Champions League in his hands.
Well, I hope not, but yeah,
Yeah, let's hope not. But yeah,
yeah, I think they have a very strong chance this year because this year could be their year. Um, and then obviously the other side of the draw, really, you've got Benfica against Liverpool. I expect Liverpool will go through there. I mean, Liverpool at the moment they're on top of the world, really. With
I
their
thought City were going to get Benfica, to be fair, because they always get the easiest draws, don't they?
yeah, yeah, surprisingly not this time. It's Liverpool, but Liverpool again.
Maybe they forgot to pay.
Yeah, forget it. Um, but yeah, Liverpool, you know, I think they'll cruise through like Benfica. They're putting us, to be fair, against Ajax in the first leg, they put in a decent performance, to be fair. Like I watched it and they went toe to toe with Ajax. But then, as I said, obviously they got the win, but I think they got dominated away. But so, Benfica at Anfield, I think they're just going to get destroyed.
Oh yeah,
um, I mean, people did say that about Inter, but Inter did go 1-0 up, and I did think Inter did outplay Liverpool in majority of that tie over the 2 legs. Obviously, Liverpool take going through, but I don't think Benfica are gonna do
it's
what
good.
Inter did.
I don't think Benfica are as good as it.
Yeah, and I think they'll do well at home, but then come to Anfield, I think they will because Liverpool can get a result at Benfica anyway, out there in Portugal. So I think maybe like a 1-0, maybe another 2-0 lead, and then I think they'll just win it easy at Anfield. I could be wrong, but
Let's hope you're wrong.
yeah,
I want Liverpool winning the Champions League.
yeah, no, neither do I. But I think it will be I think Liverpool might go. I'm going to go Liverpool. And then obviously Villarreal Bayern. Obviously on paper Bayern, but what few eyebrows raised with that performance against Salzburg in the first leg where they only drew. Um,
Yeah, Bayern Munich are a weird team, aren't they? They're like
yeah,
drawing with Salzburg 1-1, and then they
yeah,
just completely batter them in the second half,
yeah,
second leg. Sorry, like 7-1, wasn't it? Something like
yeah, yeah. So
very weird team.
yeah, I mean, I don't know whether they chant off night on the away leg. Some teams can do that, like playing away and not in your country can sometimes. I think make people who just play bad. I just think that. Um, but Bayern, I mean, if Bayern are on top, I reckon because the thing is, they obviously they're very possession based Villarreal as well. I think they like to quite keep the ball, but it's quite slow from what I've seen. I think. So against Bayern, you're gonna have to sort of be a bit quick doing it. But I mean, if they can break them down, Emery can sometimes produce good games. I mean, but it's gonna have to be Bayern's just gonna be fast. Gonna have to stop them. Dosky, Coleman, Gnabry again.
Yeah, I got Muller as well.
Yeah, it's going to be quite fast paced. But I do think Bayern will progress. It might not be like as good as the second leg against Salzburg. But I think if they do, it might be like a scrape through maybe if they are playing bad at the time in a couple of weeks' time. But at the same time,
Yeah, I think if they were to go through, I think it would have to be at their stadium. I think they'll struggle against Villarreal at home.
yeah,
Away, sorry.
yeah, yeah. I think they will go through. Semi obviously, so they're all the ties and sorry, who got drawn in the quarterfinal. Then they pulled out the semi-final.
Semi-final, yeah.
So if we and so our the two semi-finals are Madrid and Chelsea versus Atletico and City. So if we do get through Madrid, we've got to go play City in the semis, which for this season,
That would be very interesting.
um, if we do, we got to step up. We got to step up. I mean, I know we beat them 3 times last season, too strong well, but this season we've Pep's really just made us sit back in our own box, and we've never really come out and attacked them with how we sort of saw last season. I mean,
Yeah, both your games this season against them,
we've
terrible, really.
Yeah, we've not got out, and when we have, we haven't taken the chances. There was more chances, I think, or at the Etihad than there was at Stamford Bridge. Stamford Bridge, I remember I mean, we got pinned in by both, but Stamford Bridge, we really couldn't get out like our own 18-yard box, really, or you know, we was really struggling to get out, couldn't get over the halfway line. But there was a couple of chances. I remember Lukaku had a couple of chances with Ziyech that day, but at the Etihad. But I think we need to have our passing on point and stuff. But if we play like that, we'll go out easily, I think. But if we do get through and we play City, we need to make sure it's over 2 legs as well. So it's not just a one-off match. So it's going to be interesting.
That is where you would need the fans on your side, but
yeah, but
you
we
won't
ain't.
have any really.
No. But going to the Etihad, there's not much choice there. So, I would be too. I think if I was too sharp, if we don't have fans, if we beat Real Madrid, so I mean, one of the most hostile places to go in Europe.
Yeah.
It's the English tie, but yeah, that's if we make it through. But if we do, I think it'll be interesting. And yeah, but no guarantees. I said Madrid could play him. Madrid, if Madrid beat us, you know, still be quite interesting. I think.
Yeah, Madrid v City would be
I think
interesting as well.
if it does, it would be played at the interesting tie would be played at the Bernabeu with Madrid. Were second, played at home second because in the second leg because playing first, I think. And then if they go away to the Etihad, I think City might crush them, especially if Ancelotti plays defensively again the away legs, especially for us. And then if they get through somehow, home advantage could be really big for Real Madrid this year, especially against a team like if they get through and play Pep City. So
Yeah.
so yeah, some interesting ties there really. It's going to be I mean, we talk about, well, I'm saying City going for it. I mean, I do think City would be if Atletico went through Madrid or something like that. Madrid derby in the semi-final could be interesting as well. Know each other well. Obviously in the same city, so yeah, that could be interesting. Ancelotti versus Simeone.
I'd never write off any of these teams.
Yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know that all the teams now have either. I mean, you can't always say that they're the best teams. As I said, like I personally think Ajax are better than Benfica. Juve are better than Villarreal on paper. But I mean, if you play well and you get through, doesn't matter how you get through. As long as you get through and play well, you deserve to win it. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I should know we've mainly in our Champions League finals, we've played mainly defensively and just done it resolutely. If you can defend well against top teams, don't always have to be a Pep or a Bayern and smash people attacking football. It's very nice on the eye, obviously, if you do that, but you can win it by a Tuchel defensive masterclass or a Simeone defensive masterclass, those type of managers and tactics. So, but it is interesting. So on to the second semi-finals of that side of the semi-finals. You got the favourite tie semi-final tie is to be Liverpool v Bayern. That would be a brilliant game. if that
Yeah.
happens. Um, Again, no, I do think Liverpool would go through, but I still think it'd be a good game. Like Lewandowski, um, you know,
Yeah, they've got pacey wingers, Bayern. They've got Sane and Gnabry. You know, they
yeah,
can get in behind
yeah,
that Liverpool's high line that they play.
yeah. Um, I say Coman as well, Muller, experience, as well. That's going to be a big factor.
Yeah,
Um, and then, but then you've just got Liverpool with who are, as I said, on cloud nine right now with, Mane, Salah, Diaz, Jota, Fabinho, brilliant in midfield. Henderson's doing well. Van Dijk at the back with Matip, Allison, Trent.
yeah,
That's gonna be big as well. Obviously Robertson and Trent. Um, I mean, I think because Trent will miss the. I mean, as I said, it might not be he might be back if they get through without him, but he's out for 4 weeks apparently. Klopp said so with a hamstring. So if something goes wrong there, like he tweaks it again when he's just come out and he misses like the semi-finals and they're playing Bayern, that's going to be massive. Um,
could be a blow in the Premier League as well.
yeah, it'll be it's massive at the moment that, but then that side is just like that. Liverpool side's unbelievable at the moment, and I think along with City, they're the top favourites, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did beat Bayern because they done it a couple of seasons ago to win it when they won it in 2019. But if they do it again, I wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, that would be a good route to the final. I think we're going to see an English final again.
Yeah, I think
It's
the three English clubs are probably the best in Europe, in the
yeah,
world, really, at the
yeah.
moment.
I think, like I say, it's the only big case I'd say is Bayern after really. Maybe Bayern's us and Bayern, and then obviously City, Liverpool probably. But I still think it's going to be an English final, whoever it is. So yeah. And also today, moving on from the Champions League now, we had the Europa League last night as well, and the draw today. Um, another two British teams doing really well there, West Ham and Rangers. Rangers doing well. They played Red Star, battered them in the first leg, 3-0, really. Although I did hear there was quite a few chances for Red Star, I think, but I mean 3-0, and then they lost 2-1, I think, but they obviously got the goal and it was 4-2 on aggregate in the end. So yeah, done well there, and now they've got Braga to play. But they'll obviously go for
Football
it.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, guy in the semi-finals, a chance of getting the Champions League this year
Yeah.
because
I
I
mean, if
know,
they could beat Dortmund,
yeah,
then they have a real good chance.
yeah, exactly. Braga, I mean, on paper, Dortmund are probably better than Braga, but see, as I say, it depends on who's doing well. But I think Rangers could easily go through their semi-finals. Um, and then yeah, they played very well last night. But and then you've got West Ham who defeated Sevilla. I
That's
mean that.
a very good win for them.
I mean, I watched how that was immense last night from West Ham. They played really well. I was watching. Well, I didn't watch the whole of the game. I saw bits because I was watching the Everton Newcastle game. Um, that was
Another
that.
mental game.
Yeah, yeah. It was the quality wasn't there, but it was just the atmosphere and there were some changes that went in, and it was all
Yeah.
sort of
Goodison Park's always got a good atmosphere, really.
yeah, it was fans getting behind the relegation fight. But yeah, I didn't going back to Europa League. I didn't watch too much of it, but I saw the goal. It was a good cross. I thought it had gone because Ben Rama had a chance to maybe shoot or play it to Criswell, and he sort of did. I think he like may have passed it or it got blocked or something. It went to Antonio anyway. It fell to Antonio. Antonio, what a cross with his left foot, really, just putting it in the area. And Suchek, great header. And Sevilla didn't look like they were doing great at all. They didn't really look like they were doing much, I don't think. From what I saw, anyway. As I said, I think they might have been appearing second half. I heard maybe 60 minutes. Sevilla came back into it sort of around that time. But from what I watched, Sevilla didn't look anything really. Didn't look great. Um, but yeah, as I said, another great win for West Ham. they're they're loving life at the moment as well. With that squad that they've
Yeah.
got, um, they've hardly got any depth really, and they just
No.
every week in, week out, they produce really high levels. Um,
Risk,
yeah,
risking losing Antonio could be a big blow for them. Like if
yeah,
they lose him, they're not going to play a designated striker, are they? They're going to have to play like, I don't know, maybe Ben Rama up front or something like that, or maybe Yarmolenko will come in.
yeah,
It's good to see him score as well.
yeah. Two on the trot really in the week. Because obviously got one the weekend against Villa, and then he's got one the winning goal tonight to send him through. But London Stadium was bouncing last night. You could hear it, and I guess rightly so. I mean, they keep going, and yeah, they were brilliant last night, especially in extra time. You'd think bit of fatigue, it might just be sort of end bit tired, but they were much better than Sevilla. Sevilla didn't look anywhere near it. As I said, they looked way off the pace. So and so obviously concluding that, the draw was obviously today as well. West Ham getting Leon, they'll love that. So Leon, I think they're doing quite well obviously in Europa League. Don't know too much about the league, how they're doing, but they're a good side, I think, half decent side. They'll take they'll take West Ham, toe to toe. They're
I don't
fighting.
know if they're any better than Sevilla though.
Mm,
But
yeah,
Sevilla, apparently, it's Sevilla's second in the Liga, and the second best team in the Liga, and West Ham beat them. So
yeah.
I think I do think West Ham will go through in that. They have a very good chance. Uh, I mean, Lyon have a few good players. They've got Dembele up front, haven't they?
Yeah, Dembele. I think he's doing all right for them, isn't he?
Did they loan back in Dombele as well?
Yeah. So, um, you never know, he might produce. As I say, I haven't watched Leon too much, but as I say, I know
Yeah.
we all know they're a very decent team. They can probably hurt people if they want to. I mean, they hurt Man City in the Champions League like last year, whatever it was,
Yeah.
or a year ago, so a couple of years ago. So, um, yeah, they're decent side, but West Ham will fancy their chance as well. I mean, West Ham, if they play like that, they'll be buzzing. And then if they do, they'll be going to play potentially at the new camp if Barcelona win their tie and they win and
Oh,
West
that'd
Ham
be
win their
huge.
tie. I mean, West Ham fans, all I've heard is they want you know they want Barcelona. I think they're being West Ham fans saying they want Mark Noble to score a winning goal or a winning penalty in the new camp to send them to the final.
Like
Advantage.
the scenes if that
Yeah,
happens.
I mean, I've got people like Rice, Suchek who deserve it. I think Antonio, their squad's been, Dawson, Cresswell. I mean, it's really good to see like other teams really coming through and doing pretty well and progressing through. Like I said, West Ham a few years ago under Slaven Bilic, I remember they didn't look fit enough. They were running through. People were running through them. They were in a relegation scrap and they were so close. And then, now they're here with Moyes doing brilliant and
Yeah, brilliant job.
in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. But yeah, there's still potential now because the semi-finals got drawn. As I said, I think if Rangers go through, they're going to play Frankfurt or is Frankfurt the? Let me double check. Forgotten now. But I think they're not crossing paths, so
Yeah.
it's going to be um it's going to be quite good. So you got they do. If Rangers win in their semi-finals, they will go and play Barcelona or Frankfurt. So and then West Ham or Lyon might play Leipzig or Atalanta. So you know that's going to be
It's not going to be
interesting.
easy for West Ham, but they have a good chance.
Yeah. And but I mean, if they imagine if they have a imagine if they have a Rangers West Ham final, that'd be amazing. I think that'd be a brilliant watch. All English again. You know, a couple of years ago where they had an all
Yeah,
English dominating the with Chelsea, Arsenal, Europa League against Spurs, Liverpool in the Champions League could be like Chelsea City versus Liverpool, and then a Rangers West Ham final as well, which would be brilliant. But yeah, I mean, amazing from the teams that are progressing, and you know, I guess good luck to them
yeah, it's
because
good to see.
they're doing well. Um, yeah, that is. It was a crazy night of football really last night. As I saw Leicester progress through as well with their Conference League. They were really onto the cosh. I only watched the last like 10, 15 minutes, but Leicester were rain. It was like 1-1, I think, and then but Leicester were going to go through because they were winning like 3-1 on aggregate. Then Ren got a goal, and it made it really edgy for Leicester, and the fans were really behind them. And Ren was so close to getting. I mean, Schmeichel made a fantastic save to the line,
Oh
like
yeah,
the 90th something minute or something like that.
yeah. I thought it was offside at first, but then
Yeah, it
when
wasn't.
they
Yeah,
showed the replay,
yeah.
brilliant save.
So that was amazing. You just see that, and it was a brilliant game to watch at the end. I'm sure Leicester fans were like very, very nervous because they were just under the cosh. They couldn't get the ball out really or keep hold of it. Um, but another game that we watched Thursday was new in the Premier League, Newcastle and Everton. And my God, the noise
Yeah,
from Goodison Park when Iwobi put that ball in was mental. I've never heard
true.
a noise like that ever through the TV as well. Like it's not even like you're there. It was through the TV and it was mental. Um, I mean, 10 men as well.
Yeah, Lampard broke his hand by
Yeah,
celebrating, didn't he?
the limbs from and now they're going to be fighting. That's going to give them hope. They've got an FA Cup on Sunday against Palace, but I think their big focus will be the relegation battle.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they could go for it because they have got an international break, so it's not like they're playing, so they could go for it. Obviously, it's a semi-final at Wembley. Um, so I mean, they'll be up for it, but you know, it was just brilliant last night from Everton. Newcastle again losing 1-0. They played really well in the first half. I thought they sort of dominated Everton. Everton weren't doing anything really, fighting scraps really and long balls, and then um, second half they sort of went quiet and Everton were trying to get going. Then that red card came and everyone thought, right,
yeah.
Everton's just got to defend this now and get a point.
Controversial red card. I don't know about it.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a red card, to be honest. Yellow at most,
yeah,
but that's
it's
the inconsistency of VAR. Isn't it?
yeah. I mean, like it's a clear booking because also he's
Oh
taking him
yeah,
down. But yeah, it's a bit iffy. I don't know. He's a bit high, but he's not really high to endanger him. He hasn't like it's clear. So, but I think that's the thing. It's not clear and obvious, really. So, but I mean that Everton didn't care when they scored because Newcastle Calvert-Lewin came on and Richarlison switched his left hand side, and you know Newcastle just started. I think that's when they dropped back a lot more. Calvert-Lewin was able to sort of he didn't really touch the ball much, but the presence I think next to Dan Burn was Dan Burn knew he was going to win headers against Richarlison when he was up there, whereas like when Calvert-Lewin came on, it was a completely different sort of character to go up against, fighting for those aerial duels. But
maybe
they
Dan
normally
Burn didn't want to get elbowed in the face again.
yeah. But um yeah, they started switching. They obviously made an impact, and Calvert Lewin gets the goal. Sorry, makes the pass with Iwobi, and good finish for in the end. But Everton will be right up for it now. This is going to be a great end to the season. I can already see it. I looked at you look at the table. They've shown it afterwards. 3 points clear of Watford. But then you've got Leeds still in there again now because Everton have come back now, and you know, I still think Brentford are there. Like I don't think they're safe. If Newcastle
I,
lose a
I,
couple,
I think Brentford. I think they're all right for now.
I
I
mean,
think I don't know
mm,
who they need to play at the moment.
They got
Uh,
us next. So um
easy win for them, isn't
um but yeah, no, I mean I'm guessing obviously those teams will not win every week. They'll most likely lose or draw or something. So maybe not. But I just feel like I still think Brentford, I think they're only a few points. They're like 4 points, but I guess they might be, they probably will be if they get a win there and there. They've got loads of time to get really quite a few bits to get a win, a few games to get a few points away from them. But it's going to be a good end. There's still quite a few teams. As I said, there's still a few teams. There's at least 5 teams. As I said, Norwich. I think Norwich are down really, but
it? Yeah, no, actually.
um, what Burnley? Okay, maybe there's like 3 teams in there because I'm saying I think Burnley might be down unless they start just winning every game. Then it gets interesting. But you've obviously got Watford, Everton, and
Leeds.
Leeds. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
So if any of them need to face each other,
yeah. But Everton have got a tough few games as they know. So to get that win was vital as well. Because if they win somewhere else, they could maybe obviously they've got to play us at home. That we up for that. Everton, Liverpool away. So I mean, if they like pick up a win, sorry, against maybe cheap, scrappy win like yesterday against maybe someone a bit lower, they can maybe afford to lose at Anfield or something like that. Really, although every game probably from in a couple of weeks will be a must win. So it's going to be interesting. Everyone's going to be fighting for their lives to stay in the Prem. It's going to be good, but
it's hard to call.
yeah, it's going to be good to see. I think yeah, we'll see who's got what it takes. I guess. But moving on, as the Premier League has finished, this is the last. That is the last Premier League action. Uh, or well, you've got Wolves. I think Wolves and Leeds tonight. So that's going to be interesting as well because Leeds have got to play Wolves tonight away. So that could be interesting. At least go further away if they win.
We've
Um,
got Arsenal beat Villa tomorrow as well, which
yeah,
could be big for top 4.
yeah. But obviously this weekend is sort of the last weekend because now we've got FA Cup in the Premier League, obviously, but next week we've got the first international break we've had for quite a few months. Um, not great. No one really
Yeah, it's
likes
not
it.
great.
No, it's just boring. Like no one actually wants an international break, really, because we've already qualified. So I think so. Yeah. So I think
I guess the only interesting game will be probably between Italy and Portugal.
yeah.
Like if they both like win their qualifying games, they both have to play each other, and then
Mm.
whoever wins out goes qualifies.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like you've got still some few games left for people to qualify or this round, but we're through, so it's just like boring friendlies, I think, to us really. Ivory Coast and who are we playing? Ivory Coast and someone else, I can't remember, but yeah, it's it's like kind of no one likes the international break. Everyone likes England in the tournaments because that's when we can hope. That's when we can believe. Um,
It's
but yeah,
coming home yet,
yeah.
but then we lose in the final.
Don't remind us. Don't remind us. um, but yeah, obviously, speaking of it, the England squad was announced yesterday as well. There are some
Questionable decisions.
raised eyebrow decisions to say the least. One of them being Harry Maguire getting over Tomori. Um, AC Milan top of Serie A. Tomori's been flying there, and Harry Maguire, who is underperforming,
I don't know
from
how he does it. I don't know
getting
how he gets managers to pick him. Like
I don't know. But he's getting criticism left, right, centre.
performing
But
terribly, and
Southgate's excuses for that is like he's been loyal or something, or he's loyal to him. But this is the problem with Southgate. He doesn't pick players on form. He picks them for their loyalty. You need to pick the players that are on form. And Tomorrow's one of them, no doubt. And Maguire should sit. Maguire should be out of the England squad. And I think it's not like necessarily like saying, "Oh, just because you're on bad and you're saying people saying you're shit." But I mean, he is at the moment, but to say you're out the England squad, that'll probably give him the motivation to perhaps be like, oh, maybe my performances are bad, even if I should be seeing that United anyway. But me being out of the England squad surely shows that um I'm not doing great at all. I mean, Rashford's out the squad, Sancho's out the squad. A few people annoyed with Sancho being out. I don't know. What do you reckon of
I'm
that?
one of them. I'm one of them. I think Grealish is in there. Isn't he? Was
Yes,
he picked?
yeah,
I,
I think so. Yeah,
I don't think Grealish should have been picked just
probably should be.
because he's been on the bench most of the time for City.
Yeah,
Not, I think he's overrated. Not worth the 100 million they spent, but it don't really bother them. They've got the money. But Sancho has been performing well lately. He's been one of our best players. I'd say
yeah,
alongside Fred,
yeah.
and at least he's been starting. But
Yeah.
yeah, Grealish. I think Grealish should be dropped. Really.
Um, yeah. You've got so the whole squad is John Pickford, Nick Pope, and Ramsdale. I mean, no one's really in there that no one's like in there that really shouldn't be. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no one's really. There's Sam Johnston, but I don't think really he's going to be in there. Especially as I saw what he did last week against Huddersfield. Bloody hell, that was casual. Let the ball and so just was very casual. And Huddersfield Huddersfield player closed him down and got a goal from it. So, but as I said, no one's really going to be in there over them three. And you've got Trent who what's it will probably not be in there now because he's got that injury. Connor Cody, Mark Gurhey, first call up for Mark Gurhey. I mean, he'll be happy with that. He's done well at Palace this season, I think.
Yeah, it's
Had a
deserved.
had a bit of composure in there for the Palace back line, sort of as Palace have had this season with Vieira. They've got all their old sort of deadwood, if you like, which is pretty good. And they've replaced it with new young players who now they can get on the ball a little bit more at the back and start playing out from the back really, with Vieira as
Yeah.
well. So, but good for him because he's done really well, I think. Then you've got Reece James, who he's been out for a while. It's hard to say, really.
Is he back in like training or is he like still
He's
recovering
in
from like a
training, but
setback?
not fully training. Obviously, he came back against Burnley and done well there. But he's back. Tuchel said today he's not going to be playing against Middlesbrough. He's not going up there, so he ain't got a chance really. So it's going to be tough to see with that close as well. So that could be two right backs. So someone else could potentially come. Maybe Lamptey, if them two are both out.
I mean, yeah.
Because Kyle Walker hasn't been picked, so you know, if they're both out, they're gonna have to call up someone for right back. So Lamptey maybe or Livramento maybe. Reese could be back. They could just take a chance on him and just play him. I mean, because he's only got two
Yeah.
games with him. But if not,
So,
Lamptey could
I
come
would
in.
say Wan Bissaka. But no.
No, not right now. And then obviously Harry Maguire. Don't know how. Tyrone Mings. That's a lot of people saying. A lot of people he shouldn't be in there either.
I don't rate him.
Did
Right.
Yeah, I thought he was all right. I actually did think he was okay, but I've seen a
He's
few.
bang average.
Yeah. So that could be another one that could potentially has sort of 50-50 as in people saying they don't want him in. Luke Shaw, again, he's not really played consistently, especially under Ranić, really.
He prefers Telles, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Or he was out, or he got injured, didn't he, before the game against Spurs, was it? Or City, sorry,
Yeah.
City. But yeah, Teller's been playing a lot, so I don't know who other left backs you got.
Chilwell was injured, didn't he?
Yeah,
Mm.
Luke Thomas, I don't know. So
James
but
Justin as well. He can play left back.
yeah, um, I guess he's just in there, you know, natural left back really. John Stones. Um, I'll be honest with you, I never really liked John Stones. I think he's too this. I don't think he's. I know he's had that. Last season he had that sort of good spell where it was really great spell, was doing well. But I still think like he still has moments where he's just very dodgy, and he can do just make some really terrible mistakes for us. Um, but I mean, I mean, we shouldn't worry too much. But it's more about maybe because people who deserve a chance, like some youngsters who wouldn't get in the qualifiers. Because as I said, we're qualified, so this is just friendlies, really. I think so.
Yeah.
But again, John Stones, I don't know. I haven't really rated him since he's gone to City. Really, I think there's been quite a few mistakes he's made, but I mean, he's in there. Some people will disagree with me, but uh,
I don't mind him. Yeah.
um, and then the last one, Ben White. I think Ben White's done pretty well, especially on this run with Arteta. So I think he deserves that. Um,
Yeah,
then you've
can't
got
complain about that.
midfielders, obviously Jude Bellingham, no brainer.
Yeah.
Games I've watched him for Dortmund, he looks like he's just been almost carrying that midfield.
Yeah. Wonder kid.
Um, yeah, absolutely brilliant. Conor Gallagher, again, his energy is just. I can't wait to have him back for next season for us because he's just going to be immense. His pressing is just mental, I think, and the way he uses the ball at times really well. Um, John Henson, um, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, and James Ward-Prowse. Rice has done well, very well, obviously. Mount's just going to get picked. I do think Mount does well, especially like defensively wise, but obviously people might disagree. Um, so yeah, but Ward-Prowse as well, really good. Like he's brilliant in midfield. I think he's a bit underrated, Ward-Prowse. Especially with the way he plays for Southampton, and obviously he's a brilliant free kick taker. We've all seen that. So yeah. And then moving on to the forwards, Tammy Abraham doing really well. Scored again last night for Roma in the Conference League last minute.
Yeah, doing
He's
very well for them.
21 goals this for Roma this year, first season. It's brilliant in my opinion. I know people are going to say it's Serie A, but he's still doing really well for himself.
Yeah,
Um,
he'll only improve.
so
You
that
got you
was
got a buyback clause in
yeah,
his contract.
it's like 50 mil or something like that. So again, we'll probably buy him back when he does well, and
Probably won't even have the money for it. The new owners.
the owners are good. Um, well, I hope so. um, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, and Smith Rowe and Stone. They're all the forwards. Foden, brilliant player. I think he's phenomenal. His left foot is just brilliant. Grealish, again, I don't agree with Grealish. He's been on the bench, been average this season. I remember thinking to myself, he should have gone to City. I know he wants to play Champions League and has a bit of a short career, and you want to be with Pep Guardiola, obviously, because he's a great manager. But again, I think he should have just stayed at Villa where he could have been the hero and the legend.
I think he's one of those players like Zaha. I think he just needs to, I don't know, be that star player in that team.
Yeah,
But in that Man City team, he's
he's out.
around
Yeah,
other star players.
there's players better than him, really.
Yeah,
I feel like I see him not struggle, but like not really get up to the pace with because Grealish is like really good, I think, running with the ball, especially on that left hand side and cutting in. But with Pep's style, his main thing is just gonna be two touch. So I think he holds onto the ball a bit too long than Pep would like at times. So I think that's why he's not been played as much. Um, yeah, I mean, 100 million, yeah, it's mental. Um, but I think, as I said, I don't think he deserves being there. Really, he hasn't done that great this season or around the period from last international break to now. Really, so missing big chances as well. I think in games. So Harry Kane, I think Harry Kane stepped it up now. He's doing really
Yeah,
well.
especially under Conte. Conte's
Yeah,
lifted
he's
him really.
thriving. He's thriving. Doing really well. So he deserves to be in there. Saka again doing really well. Probably the best
Yeah,
Arsenal player at the moment, no doubt. I think. So Smith Rowe is a weird one because he's been
he,
benched. He hasn't played. I don't know what's happened. I
I
think
don't
it might
know.
just be Martinelli and Odegaard doing kind of well, but he was
Yeah,
he was doing right, and then I just he never. I was like, so obviously I don't watch Arsenal that much, but I was like, I haven't seen him for ages, and
I didn't even
he's
see
only
him come on from the bench really.
yeah. I mean, I've seen him Watford, I think, and who they play like the other day. What's it? Leicester. That's what I'm thinking
Leicester,
of.
yeah.
He's gone, and but I say I just haven't seen him. He was supposed to be like, I guess, a bit like with Saka, like up there, and he sort of. I'm surprised because he's played Cam before, but I think Odegaard must be doing really well, and then Martinelli's doing really well there as well. So, but I guess he's in there, and then Raheem Sterling. I think he's always going to be in there. I think him and Kane will just always be in there, really, mostly.
Same with Maguire, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Maguire's like a Michael Keane situation. Never with Michael Keane in the England squad, but he used to get in there quite a lot. Um, but yeah, obviously looking at the squad, I mean it's a decent squad. There's people we can easily replace now. Say we've got bags of talent in reserve if we need to,
Oh
especially like
yeah,
I said, the right back situation. If we want to bring in Lamptey, Livramento, um, I guess Walker could come in.
maybe Walker
Because
Peters as well.
yeah, I mean if there was one, he could. I think he'll pick Walker because, for instance, as I say, Hawker's in there, so that sorry isn't in there, so he can just probably bring in more if he really wants to just use youngsters like Lamptey or something like that. As I said, then yeah, but I mean going into game, we don't really like we've qualified, just not really enough in game to us really. But I like the look of obviously the future of England because as I say, Gallagher's getting in there now a couple of times, looking really good. So as I say, everyone knows we've got bags of talent coming through now. I mean,
Oh yeah,
in the under 21s, there's still lots and lots of talent coming through, and it's just brilliant to see, really. And if we do, we've got the experienced players as well. As say, Walker's not in there. I think Walker's good for us as well. Pacey, defensively better than what I've seen since they're playing with Pep, so he's done really well. Midfield is stacked. Forwards are
oh yeah.
stacked. It's just the defense. He just needs to know who to put into defense. Really, I think he needs to stop taking out people who he's loyal to and actually give people on form. Like Jack Grealish, when he first got into him, Jack Grealish should have been in because on form, but now we get to him because he's plays for City. Um, so yeah, I think he is he's definitely one of those that's just like Southgate needs to make sure he uses especially coming into World Cup as well, like this year. He needs to make sure he has the right squad with him. A bit of experience, yes, but there's you can win stuff with young, like basically like kids. You can win
Yeah, oh,
games
yeah.
with, and there's lots and lots of people that are very talented, coming through, as I say. So, but I mean, the hopes for England in this World Cup is
I think it's going on.
in Qatar. Ooh.
I
Don't
think
forget,
we have a
there's a
very
lot
good
of teams.
chance.
You got Argentina's, your Brazil's coming through. Um, People like that coming through. So tough, tough teams. Um, I don't think it's. I would like to say it's coming, but I don't think it will. I think we'll be really unlucky again. Um,
Oh,
so
actually, I'm just thinking about Maguire and centre back. I'm just rethinking my decision.
because don't
I don't think it's
forget,
coming on now.
when he picks his squad, it's not like the summer where he can go like this year where he can go, oh yeah, at the end of this summer, Maguire shouldn't be in because if he plays shit like for the rest of the season, then you can't be in. But like we've basically got the halfway of next season to go. So if someone starts really well, like Tomori starts really well again, or Maguire could start really well next season somehow, or Chilwell if he comes back, or Shaw again, or something like that, or someone else in midfield. I think someone new could come in and maybe do really well who comes through their club, and they could play really well and get in the squad. So it all really changes. You have to see, but I think we should go with a lot of youth this year. I think we just got players who aren't in it. People like, or not youth, but someone like Danny Ings could start putting in the goals, or Jacob Ramsey, like because for Villa he's been brilliant this season. If he continues that and gets a load more assists and goals from what he's doing now, he should be in the World Cup squad any day, I think.
Maybe.
So, and then there's like tricky wingers like Harvey Barnes, or throwing,
James Madison, maybe if he steps, he's been
throwing,
in good form lately.
yeah, throwing it out there. You know, people like that, or you know, someone could be really good, like a name like Solly March. Imagine if he done really well for Brighton or something like that. I don't think he would, but you know what I mean. Anyone like that could come in and
You
do
never
well.
know.
Yeah, or Adam Armstrong starts really well next season for Southampton. Could be in the England squad. Who knows? So there's lots of people like that. I mean, we're throwing a lot of names out there who have not really been in there, or have been great, really consistent. But I'm just saying, if people have a good season, I think it just depends if, like I say, if you have a really good season, then you have a really good chance of getting picked, or you should do anyway. So, yeah. But I mean, yeah, the chances and the hopes for us is going to be, it's going to be big, especially what's happened this
It will
season.
be one of the favourites, maybe.
Yeah. But we'll have to see. This could be Southgate's last tournament, I believe. So, or
Let's hope so.
yeah, because I think with this talent, we could get someone who could play really. We could get someone who could play really attacking football for our team, and get the balance right, and we could play really well. Someone like Graham Potter. I think Graham Potter would do really well. Like, I know at Brighton he's on a bad spell, but when he goes on a good spell, especially with a lot of these talented players, I think he'd do really well, and he'd pick the right players, I believe. People who deserve to be on from, like, I don't think he'd pick Maguire. That's in the back. I think I'd say he's picking Tamori or someone like that. So
I think Lampard would have been good as well.
Lampard probably would have been all right, yeah, because he he does well with big players and everything like that. He'll be brilliant with it. People who can press.
He does well with the youngsters as well. Young talent there.
So yeah, I think yeah, he'll be picking like youngsters that deserve it, like Ramsey or Bellingham would
Who knows?
start.
Maybe Steven Gerrard.
Yeah. So he did get asked that in the press conference, but he said maybe in the near future, or if it comes, hopefully. I think he said hopefully if that comes, he'll want Declan Rice in his team for sure. So yeah. But yeah, it's going to be good to see England in the future. I think all these talents that we've just got.
Yeah, just need the right manager for it.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But moving on quickly from that, I know last couple of podcasts we have spoken about Chelsea a lot, but today is the deadline for the bidders to, you know, the deadline for the consortiums or owners, not owners, but people who want to bid for Chelsea. Basically, it's the deadline for them to bid. There's lots of different consortiums and people that want to buy Chelsea. Some that I don't want, some that a couple I do want, or fans might not want and stuff. A lot of people want the Saudis. Can't imagine why, but I think if they get them, if we get the Saudis, it'll be good because we'll have the money and we will. I heard that he does want to redevelop.
You'll have more money than everyone combined.
Probably, yeah. From what it's reported, 1.3 trillion or something. It's just about getting through the government links and stuff like that. So, yeah. But I think the strongest party, from what I've seen today, the strongest parties are Todd Bowie and that Vice guy and Jonathan Goldstein. But I heard, I looked this morning, I heard John Terry wants to buy ex Chelsea women's footballer Claire Rafferty. want to buy a 10% stake in Chelsea for like 250 million. Like they obviously don't have enough to buy Chelsea themselves, but they want to have like a 10% stake in it. So that'd be interesting if Terry was there and stuff like that. But yeah, Shaquille. No,
He knows the club well. He knows
yeah,
what needs to be done and what doesn't.
yeah. I think it's gonna be interesting to see. I do think it'll be that Todd Bowie guy. I've heard he wants the fans involved as well, but you just never know. People say what they need to say and then go off course. I'm sure the Glazers, when they came to United, I don't know, but they might have said that as long as we want to keep United doing well, we want to win things and we're getting involved this, that, the other, and then sort of look at them now. Every United fan really hates them because it seems to be just a business really to them. I think taking money out and not really doing much with the club. I also saw a report as well that they want to knock down Old Trafford and like rechange that as well. Which I mean, Old Trafford's
Ridiculous.
one of the most iconic stadiums in English football in the world, even, and they want to like, knock it down and redevelop it into like I think it's like a Super Bowl type stadium or something like that. Um,
I say swivel in it. That's ridiculous. Can't be having that.
um, like, someone said I saw a comment. Someone said like it'd be like called the Chevrolet like Dome or Arena or something like that. Yeah, like if they do that, then fucking hell. I wouldn't want to be in their house, mate. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be living in the UK. Trust me. If I United fans down to Ed Woodward's house, I wouldn't want to be the Glazers if they try and knock down Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
It would be a load of protests.
yeah, there is going to be. But yeah, guys, I think that does wrap up the podcast for today. As I said, there's been big news this week. Big results, football. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the next couple of weeks as the season does conclude. We will obviously be talking about all the points and everything like that do come around in the next couple of months or so. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Cheers.